Here we go.
Player one side, we have Shu playing the twins, Errol and Orla, versus Fadedsun, also playing the twins. They decided to do a twins mirror.
And Shu picked side, so he probably has something prepared for player one.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious how this is going to play out. Because twins have so far just kind of gotten... Oh, I think they won a one game, but that was because of a misplay on... Someone walked into a lethal when they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, people regard them as pretty weak.
Yeah, they are.
We have Shu going middle?
Having said that, this is one of the maps where you can actually play them, where they can actually work. So this is very interesting.
I wonder if we're going to see fire on racks.
I think that's the whole objective from Shu. Because fire on the headquarters is not as good. This is not an excellent map for that. But on racks, it's amazing. Because there are a lot of spots where you can actually fire the racks and be fairly safe. Which isn't the norm in most maps.
Oh, this is a very aggressive mage play as well, out of Shu. But there's no punish.
Yeah. This was the counter they were discussing earlier from P1. That stops player 2 from doing that early night into headquarters. So on player 1, you just go straight to that village, and you stop it completely because if he tries to move forward with the commander, you can just attack him with the mage, and the commander is at 3 HP, so he can't really push forward now. It just stops it completely.
Yeah, it's not a fight a commander's going to win anytime soon. I mean, I'm kind of worried because he can walk forward and heal, but I mean, that mage still has a decent fight against... Like, he can walk up onto the mountain and crit the commander.
Oh, yeah.
But he's going to decap the village instead.
Yeah. Shu is just playing safe, just taking care of all his bases, which is well played for sure. Like...
Oh, actually, he has a huge income lead right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're forcing the commander to sit back and heal.
Yep.
And a dog came out rather than making a sword to go for back capture, so yeah, this is
This opening completely shuts down the normal horizontal opening into night. Which wasn't what we were seeing earlier, because today it was a lot of nights going against the headquarters.
Yeah, this is definitely... There's going to be a couple little touches to the map between now and the best of 3 rounds. I think you can defend as player 2, but it's just a bit too...
It's a bit too oppressive, right? You need to...
It has the same... I think the same problem like Gilgamesh had before we did some... I mean, we did some pretty heavy changes to that, and we won't do anything as extreme as that. But it just needs some tweaks just to make the defense a little bit more manageable.
Yeah. When we were talking earlier, my whole argument was about the length of the match. Like, it's not good when the matches end too early.
Yeah, and
for streaming purposes, like the game doesn't matter. It's fair for both players, right? But...
Yeah. Wow, this is some income lead right now. 1600 to 1000. Yeah, Shu's definitely spent today working on strats, huh?
And Faded probably didn't. But this is...
And it's not like it's over by any means, because Vader can walk forward with his commander, he can get hit on that middle village, he can capture it with a sword pretty safely. So, he can bring back this gap a little bit.
I guess.
And he has some good positioning on some of his units, like the knight's in a good position in the southeast. He can take these villages pretty well. He's got an army here to back up. Like, Shu's knight isn't going to be able to hit anything, so...
Yeah, Faded will definitely recover the right side of the map. So those two villages near the headquarters. Eventually, he'll have it, but he needs to take a lot of care on that left side, because if that Rax gets on fire, then it becomes really, really hard to get back into the game. So he's gonna have a really hard balancing act of trying to get the villages to get the economy back on track, while at the same time not losing the left side, which Shu apparently wants really hard since he's making the golem on that side, even though he had no any risk on that side. So it wasn't definitely not a defensive move.
Yeah, he's being aggressive on his HQ side. He's a commander and a golem there, yeah, so... He just wants to shove Faded back. And I think actually kind of pressure the barracks pretty heavily. Like, yeah, as well as fire, like, he can just go up and hit it.
Hitting the racks directly on this map is actually kind of hard, because that position is very, very defended. Like, all those tiles get extra defense. So everything that you put on those tiles is really hard to dislodge. Like, if you summon a golem there, it's really hard to hit the golem when you can only attack it on two sides. So this is... You usually can defend the edge raxes on the bottom and top with a very large unit difference. Like, it might look that you can't defend it, but usually you don't need that many units to defend it anyway.
We're seeing Dragon come at issue here. He's gonna skip one Rax build to make this happen. But I think it's worth it in this case. There's no anti-air on this side of the map. And I think even if... The sword has to, like, run directly right, essentially. And the dog more or less has... Actually, I don't think the dog can escape this dragon. So the dragon is gonna get one free pick off, if nothing else.
The dog can escape the dragon, just going straight right, because there's a lot of flagstone in front of the dragon anyway. The golem, on the other hand, I don't see how.
No, the flagstone doesn't quite cover it. The dog has to go... Oh, yeah, the dog has to go right and down one.
Yeah.
And then I think the golem will just kill it if it does that.
Because this golem is probably going on the hunt next turn.
I don't know how I feel about that mage decapping the village, but I guess it frees up the knight to attack something.
And he really wants to recover the economy.
It picks off a soldier. He could have picked off the village instead, but... I guess killing units is really just super important in this. Especially because there's only two in that bottom right corner, so... If you can just continually push the advantage down there, it will work out quite well.
Trying to get back into the economy. And he actually has it now, right? So they're both at 1200, so...
Yeah, he's evened it up a bit.
And he's immediately moving forward to not allow Shu to go too far away.
Oh yeah, Shu now has to defend his headquarters because twins can decap, I think. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So one night crit is available right now. So yeah, Shu is now forced to defend.
Yeah.
And just moves the dragon up.
And that's it.
Yeah, there's no like mage follow up here. I like the harpy actually. because it means that the knights get kind of shut down quite heavily. It is an option to keep the dragon away, like the harpy does okay damage to it.
It's hard to see what the choices are here. Though Shu's army is now very spread out, so his ability to take stuff isn't as strong. So this is actually, I feel this is a bit better than the previous position for Faded. That little move on the top might have just bought him some time that he needed to recover some of the space he had lost early on.
Okay, we're gonna see what Faded does here. Something important to note is the knight can hit the village. Like the knight in the bottom right even can hit the village from the north side and be completely safe from spears. So we might see that come out from him.
It almost for sure is worth it, since he doesn't have a lot to do with the knight anyway.
Yeah, I think.
Though he might not want to take the damage. No, he doesn't want to do it because there's a knight in crit range of that square.
Ah, that's a good point.
Though it's defended by the spear now, so I'm not sure. Oh, it's not. It's actually not defended.
No, one hex away.
Yeah. So yeah, attacking from the top is no longer an option.
I wouldn't mind seeing a thief come out here. A bit of an odd choice, but I think it actually would be a really good decap option.
It can definitely work, but I don't know if he has the money right now to do it.
It only takes 2 turns to get to the front as well. I'm curious.
And he goes for the archer. And the dragon gets some free damage, which is always nice.
Yeah, just putting on extra pressure. He can't punish it with his mages, so... yeah, it's a good option. I think one thing I would like to see here... that archer I think actually is going to do some really good work, because there's just pikes and a sword in the south, and archers are incredibly good against those.
Yeah.
They just soften up spear lines, and like you can just run a knight in after and get the kill on the spear.
Archers is definitely one of the units in the game that gains value as the armies increase in size. I like the definition that Snaky used once on one of his videos, where he called it a support unit. Like, even though it does damage, it kind of works better as a support unit for some other unit to finish off stuff.
Yeah, and it opens up a lot of options, like not even just an anti-unit thing, but it can soften up a village, for example, just enough for, let's say, a sword to go in and finish it off. Where, like, otherwise you'd just be taking damage on your sword. Ooh, Golem coming out in the bottom side. And shoot, I mean, he has the economic advantage, so he's just going to continue pressing that.
And the Golem is one of the units that really has gained prominence in 2.0. Well before, Golems were really a unit that you built if you had enough money left. Nowadays, we see a lot of this option where a player will build a Golem and a dog on the other side, and even though they really wouldn't prefer to build something else, getting the Golem is actually more powerful than the other option.
Faded's continuing to build harpies. I think it's actually quite a good option at this point, because the mages are quite far away. He's going to go for a crit on one, which really limits the anti-air, so this other harpy can just fly down safely, for example, and take out one of the villages.
And so he does.
Yep. I mean, it's free damage, so you gotta take it where you can get it.
Oh yeah. What more can you ask for? Oh, that's a very defensive position for that knight.
Really is. I guess as long as these mages keep a wall in front of the commander, the dragon isn't going to be the huge threat here.
Yeah.
But he needs something to come out of this Rax that can challenge it. I'd like to actually see him recap the village at the top.
That Rex is in no danger, the Rex at the top, actually, because of the flagstone, right?
Yeah,
There's
but
no way
I
the
think
dragon to go in.
there's a lot of pressure on it, and the dragon can threaten everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fade is just kind of pulling his forces back. He has a pretty good fortified position because he's got the, you know, the archer to back things up. He's got spears. So if he gets pushed into it, he can just shove it back. The golems are going to be a little difficult to deal with, but I think he should be able to manage it. He doesn't go for the recapture on the village. So he's just going to end the turn with... He has like a unit lead at the end of the turn, so the armies are still pretty close in size. And yeah, Dragon's just going to... I think he's going to use the commander to finish this off, so... You're trading a knight for a mage, which is normally okay, but you are feeding the twins extra groove.
In this case, I think the mage kill was because of the double RP. Because he really wants to be able to use them freely.
Yeah, that is so important as well. I mean, the one thing that can happen here is if the village gets recaptured and the forest tile gets occupied, so the golem moves up into it, the harpy can't move. It will get trapped there, even if it's only for like a moment. And he moves his mage up, so he could seriously threaten to trap the harpy. Interestingly, gives it an escape route though.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, sorry.
Yeah, that RP is definitely coming out now. But he could have gotten it stuck with the golem. And I don't know if the golem is doing anything there right now. So it might have been worth it to do it.
I guess the thing that could happen though is the commander could walk forward and hit the golem. But it's not a forest, so... It's just like kind of an awkward situation all around. The flagstone makes this really difficult to use air units on.
Yeah. This map is definitely not air friendly. That's for sure.
Yeah, although, you know, you say that, there is 2 harpies, 2 balloons and a dragon, so... People are definitely building air units and trying to make it work.
Now Faded is taking a bit more time to think about his options.
Yeah, but they've been playing this quite quickly so far, so...
Yeah, he definitely should take his time now.
Yeah, I mean, earlier we saw matches where at this point in the game there was like 13 minutes left on the clock for some people. So... Yeah, he's gonna think about what he needs to do here. Okay, goes for the village. Does leave the harpy open to a counterattack. But I think this is quite smart. When you realize you are going to lose one harpy to a mage, you might as well just use both. And just be aggressive.
Only one will die.
Yeah, and as long as you can set up so the punish on it exists, then You're actually in a good position.
But yeah, this was what I was talking earlier. Like, there are a lot of good defensive positions in the near important structures, like in this case the tower.
I would have
So
liked to have seen, sorry to interrupt, but like his
Yeah, go
knight
ahead.
in the southeast be one square to the right so it could threaten to crit the village.
From the bottom.
Yeah, because it would have been completely safe. He could still move it there. Actually pokes forward with his mages and knight to recapture a village there. So he's on the back foot, but he's also got a very fortified position and builds a balloon.
And he leaves the knight there.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that be one square different. Just so it threatens the village, it means that Shu has to care about defending it. This is the time that Shu has decided he's going to attack. Takes out a harpy. There is still, well actually there's a mage up here in the south, but it's going to take a while to get to the front line.
The soldier crit could have done around the same amount of damage, right?
Yeah, so using a spear like that is not quite ideal. Oh, he's gonna get another soldier crit though.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
He
so
intended to go in.
yeah, he just kind of drilled there. And that Rax is under serious pressure now.
Oh yeah, that Rax is probably getting burned next turn.
Well, he doesn't even need to burn it. He can just knock it down and take it for himself if he wants.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. There isn't a lot of stuff there.
Oh, it even gets surrounded. Damn. This pushes everything up north through the center.
Yeah.
So twins have to get out of there from a faded side, because there's no way you can counterattack.
Shuri's basically saying, do you want to defend that middle? Go ahead. I do not care for that.
Yeah. So what is going to be the response here?
Yeah.
Oh, and he just...
A full abort.
Yeah, that's fair.
GG.
I think he realizes the game is over and says... Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like if he hadn't picked twins, that would have been quite a different match. But Shu played the opening perfectly, so...
Yeah.
And he's the kind of player that knows how to convert from an opening. So good game to Shu.
Yeah, precisely. It's really hard to come back from a game like this when you're playing one of these top players, because they won't give you the kind of opportunities that you need to get back into the game usually, unless it's a big mistake where they lose the commander in one go.